As we navigate through the season of Lent and look towards Holy Week and Easter Sunday, this sermon series is all about sitting at the feet of the Master and gleaning the wisdom of God and how God calls us to live in this world a little bit differently than the rest of the world. Jesus' famous Sermon on the Mount was to his disciples to teach them just that. That God is calling his disciples to live differently than everyone else does. In the beginning, God created everything and declared that it was good. But before too long, humanity decided that they wanted to decide what was good or bad, right or wrong. And over time, the world's understanding of good deviated more and more from God's understanding. God created everything good, but through sin and the fall and brokenness, we've lost our way a little bit in that understanding of what God's goodness actually is. For although they knew God, they did not honor him as God or give thanks to him. But because they became futile in their thinking and their foolish hearts were darkened, claiming to be wise, they became fools, and they exchanged the glory of an immortal God for the images resembling mortal man. That's Romans 1. God calls us to live differently than the world does. And so God calls us to a different type of happiness as well. The world says, in order to be happy, you must seek fame, fortune, comfort. You must climb the corporate ladder of success and outdo all your peers, that you may gain prestige and be admired by your coworkers. Become famous. Do something that you'll be remembered for generations and generations and have statues built for you. That way you will be happy. If you have more and more and more, the ability to do whatever you want, that makes me happy. Now, hear me. There's nothing wrong with having some of those things, right? There's nothing wrong with working hard. There's nothing wrong with being successful in your job. There's nothing wrong with having a lot of money in and of itself. But you are fooling yourself if you believe that having any of those things in and of themselves are going to make you happy. In fact, you probably don't need me to convince you that hard that those things don't make you happy. Because once we've lived life a little bit, we know that the more and more stuff we have, it doesn't make us happy. Or we can hear the testimonies of people that seem to have it all, and yet they say, this is not what happiness is. Like Solomon, who in Ecclesiastes said, I had everything under the sun. I denied myself nothing, and in the end, it all turned out to be vanity. After quite the extensive diatribe, King Solomon concludes his letters to the Ecclesiastes this way. At the end of the day, here's the point. Love God and follow his commandments, for that is the sole order of man. And so if we're being honest with ourselves, we already know that type of happiness, the world's happiness, doesn't really make us happy.